Hey, what's up, guys? It's your fam, J True. I'm here to talk to you about stress, man. I know, difficult topic, but we do have to get to it, attack it, fight it, destroy it. Right? Best way we can. Here's the truth, though. Unfortunately, most of us experience stress. But personally, I have found several ways to manage stress and for damn sure eliminate a lot of them. All right? So, stress is some mess, but today you're here with the best. So let's put me to the test. All right. I know. It's kind of cheesy, but I was working on that. I was working on that, though. I was working on that. But here's the truth. So there's many forms of stress, right? So logically, there's many ways to combat stress. And I'm saying combat because it is something you got to fight. You got to work. You got to beat, right? It takes work, but we going to get through it. But before the strategies, before the routines, before the mindset hacks, there's a solid first thing that you should always do. Now, this right here is something that I implement when I'm stressed or unstressed, right? Or not stressed. Gotta figure out how to really say that. But this right here, this technique that I'm gonna put forward, this is something that I use daily. It's very effective. A lot of you have done it, but you've probably just never done it the right way or for the right reasons, right? Or some of you probably do it for the right reasons, and what I'm gonna say to you right now is just gonna hit home, and you're gonna be like, yeah, no, I completely agree. That's something that I do. So this right here is level one. This is what you do when you're stressed out. But right before I jump into that, kind of want to go through, find a definition of stress, or at least what Google says it is. And stress is the body's natural physical, mental, or emotional reaction to challenges, demands, or pressures, often referred to as a fight or flight response. Now, you know, fight or flight. It's interesting, because there's a lot of things that your body goes through during both of these, right? Your muscles probably tense up, your heart rate increases, and some people actually fuel themselves to get through it, and unfortunately, some just crumble under the pressure. But I'm here to tell you that this technique right here is just something that it's just applicable to literally any situation. But again, stress right here. This is how you get to a point where you can manage it. So it's really meditation, right? It's not a secret. It's something that you've been told by a lot of people, I'm sure. You probably hear a lot of people with it online, like me, online telling you about it. Meditation is huge, man. It's something that really, it grounds you. I saw this somewhere. Not sure who said it, but it says you need to regulate your body before you try to regulate your life. And I like that because meditation kind of grounds you, right? That's the idea behind it. So to ground yourself with meditation, it takes practice, right? It's something that you really will have to commit to, and you will have to practice, and you'll have to get good at. But I promise you, it's very easy. This might be the easiest thing you can do for stress. But it's super helpful. It is the best first thing to do when trying to manage a stressful situation. Again, I apply it daily, not because I'm stressed daily, but it's a good reset for you, for sure. And there's different ways to meditate, and what you're experiencing, what you're going through, whatever the stressor is, that right there might determine how long you might need to meditate for and what you need to look for while you meditate. But the first thing is really just for you to try to clear your mind so that you can not necessarily focus on the problem itself, but really just try to first clear your mind of all the clutter, so that way you can start thinking clearly and openly and in a refreshing way to try and solve whatever the issue is or whatever the stressor is, and try to find that solution, so that you no longer have to worry about it, right? That's the whole thing. It's to kind of recalibrate yourself to learn the best approach so that you hit it, not waste any time, right? So most of stress, if not all, actually, I take that back. I said most, if not all, starts in the mind, right? It's something mental because whatever the encounter is, it's really your reaction to it that causes the stressor, right? So take a race car driver, for instance. If they're in a vehicle that they're unfamiliar with, but the vehicle has a lot of power, and they were to hit that accelerator and the car bursts into power, they'll be super happy. They won't even react in a negative way. As a matter of fact, they might be super happy, and you'll be, a normal person who is not a speeder might be frazzled in that situation, but that race car driver, he's just gonna, this is natural, right? So, sorry, he or she, right? This is natural. So they'll just be like, oh yeah, no, this is cool, this is awesome. I can do this, this is not stressful for me at all. I can manage this car. This power is nothing. As a matter of fact, they probably are used to a lot more power. So this for them is just enjoyment. But for the unsuspecting person, that situation itself can be stressful, right? So I've seen it a lot where an older person might go into a dealership to buy a new car, and the Cadillacs that they're used to is just not the same, right? It's not this relaxing thing because they buy probably the Blackwing, right? And yeah, now we're talking about 600 plus horses sitting under the hood, coming from a much slower car, and they're sitting in this vehicle, they hit it, and they're like, nah, this is not for me. I've been in the dealership at least 3 times now where I've seen older people come in and they're like, hey, this car is too much for me. I have to trade it in. I need something else, right? So I've seen that. So that's something that I'm saying where that for them became a stressor, when a younger person may look at that like, no, I want this power. This is what I need. So I'm saying the way to fix stresses, which is why I'm saying we all approach them differently, is not necessarily, it won't be the same way. However, this first thing right here, this meditation right here that I'm talking about, this meditation is actually medication, is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is the first step. You know what I mean? For some people, it might be the only step necessary, because a lot of the answers that you're looking for is really within you. It's how you react to it, right? So what I'm saying is, when the stress hits, whatever it is, and we can name a few, man. We could talk about the regular stuff. We can talk about the money. Yeah. Not having enough, huge problem, big issue. That definitely needs to be talked about. We will get there, not today, but we're gonna get there, right? That's a huge stressor for most people. Most people have that common stressor, so that is something that we definitely want to focus on. But the problem surrounding that, causing the stressors, it's not necessarily not having enough all the time, because sometimes that's the problem. But there's a lot of times where that's not the problem. There's a lot more to it. So money, huge, right? Illnesses, that's a huge one. That's, it's, man, listen, sometimes you just have some things that you can't get over, and drinking some orange juice and taking some Theraflu, right? Some things stick with you, and you got to work through those, so those are some stressors too, man. Family, or the people who are dependent on you, those can be stressors, if not handled a certain way, right? Believe it or not, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, not defending them. Don't get mad, because I could be one of them. I'm not, but I could be, but I'm not. But I could be though, right? But I'm not. Rich people definitely have their own stressors, bro. Real talk, is it money? Depends, sometimes. But that's not where it starts, right? Because they've solved most of that specific problem. But it's stuff that comes with it, you know. I'm not gonna quote Biggie and say more money, more problems, but I've seen more money, more problems. Is what I'm trying to say. Listen, okay. Let's go back. Let me get back. Listen. Here's my suggestion. Stress is coming on. You're feeling it. You're like, okay, it's coming. It's heading here. I can feel it. I'm starting to tense up. The breathing is increasing. Some people go into panic attacks, right? Because this is coming. First thing I would suggest, here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. Breathe, man. Okay, you need that slow inhale. Right. Exhale, right? You need to do that for about, I don't know, probably 2 minutes, man. That breathing exercise. It forces your body to calm down, which is a huge part of what you need to do. You absolutely need to calm down. Calm down. The meditation is to calm you down, right? That's calm you down. I don't know. Listen, I don't know sign language. I'm just trying to tell you, you need to calm yourself, calm you down. All right, cool, you got it. I wouldn't make a rash decision if you have a choice, right? Because sometimes things are right in front of you. You got to make a decision. Cool, but if you have a choice, my suggestion is you don't just jump into that. You need this meditation, this reflection, first to recalibrate your mind, calm yourself down, so you can think clearly. Necessary, absolutely necessary. Now, a couple other things that you need to do, right? After you've calmed down, you bring the problem to you forward, whatever it is, whatever the stressor is, and you say to yourself, I am going to take the next hour to analyze this, tear it apart as much as I can, figure out how I got here, and then try to figure out a solution how to get out of it. Reason why I say an hour is because an hour is a solid amount of time for you to pull from every which way possible. And if you just commit to this, devoting this hour of time, like that right there puts you in a better mental bubble to just say, you know what, beyond this hour, I'm going to take a break from solving this if I can't solve it within this hour. Because some things is just not easily fixed, right? So it takes some time. But I say to you, meditate on it, bring the problem forward, look into it, see where the issue is coming from, give the solution an hour of your time, right? Actually spend this hour looking through all facets of it. Try to find all the quick solutions that you can find, right? Don't apply them, but get them. Big thing right here. This is probably the second most huge thing that I can suggest. It's antiquated. It's old, right? This is an old way to approach it, but it makes it real. And it also makes the solutions real also. You get what I'm trying to say, right? You need to write it down, right? You need to write the problem down. The problem needs to be written. You need to actually scribe, write. Typing helps, absolutely. Type it as well. But writing, definitely necessary, right? Because when you write it down, I don't know what it is. It's something that I learned in college. You just retain it better. You just process it better by writing it down. So write it. Simple. Works for me, so it's going to work for you. I know that because everybody that I've told to do it so far, it works for them. It's never failed. Meditate, write it down, and then as you find these quick solutions, you write those down as well, right? And that way you can start throwing stuff at the wall and you can find out what sticks. All right? So, I'm not going to give you too much. That was it realistically. Like I said, man, we're all going through stress. This channel here probably going to dedicate it to going through stressors, working through them together. But the first thing that I just said, this works for every situation. There's no special situation needed. Meditate. Necessary. How long should you meditate? I didn't say that yet. How long? my suggestion, starting out, making this, trying to turn it into a habit, I say you legitimately give yourself 5 minutes. First 2 minutes is your breathing exercise to make sure your body's calm, right? The next 3 minutes, you just want to collect your thoughts. You just want to get to a quiet space, clean your mind, and after 5 minutes, you should be in that mental space, unless the problem is a lot bigger, which we'll get into, right? We're gonna get into that in the next video. But hey, if you're stressed out, even if you're not stressed out, but you just want to listen to me talk about the stressors and potential ways to get through them. So if someone brings a stressful situation to you, you can just say, hey, you can check this guy out, or hey, better yet, try to learn something from me. If you think if you try it, it does work for you, you can pass that to the next person, because we just here trying to help each other, man. I've been through quite a bit of stress, and I've managed it now, and I'm pretty good at it. So I absolutely wanted to share that with you, try to get a community going where we can just start breaking each other's stressors, and see if we can eliminate some for each other, man, because I've learned, right? I've learned, and I'm sure you guys know, you've probably heard it, but I actually know a few people who this has happened to. Stress kills, man, right? And I'm trying to make sure that no one goes because of that, right? If I can prevent that, if I can help that in any way, that's what I want to do. That's my purpose. I'm going to stick to that. So as a community, let's move forward, try to break these stressors, man. Love you guys. You probably don't believe it. You don't believe it yet because I'm new, but I'm here, right? I do love you though. And we gonna talk some more. All right. Listen, you guys are awesome. You have a great night, morning, evening. Not sure when you're gonna see this, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're stressed out, come check me out over and over again, and we gonna find some stressors, and we gonna find some ways to get out of them. We gonna find some ways to eliminate them. We gonna grow together, and we gonna be prosperous together. I guarantee you, moving through this together, we gonna get richer by the time we get through it. I promise that. I'm gonna promise that. What you mean I can't make promises, man? I make promises. All right, damn. Catch y'all later though.